Support for Ruff Talk VR is brought to you by Manscaped, the champion in men's below-the-waist grooming. Manscaped offers precision-engineered tools for your family jewels.
Manscaped just launched their 4th generation trimmer, the Lawnmower 4.0. You heard that right, the 4.0. Join over 4 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with this exclusive offer for you. That's going to be 20% off and free worldwide shipping with the code RuffTalkVR, no spaces, at manscaped.com.
Imagine shaving with a sleek, well-designed, and optimized trimmer that makes shaving time your favorite time in the bathroom, which is tough competition.
I've been lucky enough to try the new 4.0, and I'm blown away by the performance. The craftsmanship and details on the 4.0 are next level.
I remember the first time I went to go trim up my boys downtown, and I thought I could get away with using the same dull razor I use on my face. Let me tell you, I was wrong. It took a long time before I could have the confidence to go to town down there again, and I'm glad to say Manscaped has given me the confidence I need to shape my boys up pretty.
Manscaped engineered the ultimate groin and body trimmer by focusing on intelligent functionality and an incredibly comfortable grooming experience. Their 4th generation trimmer features a cutting-edge ceramic blade to reduce grooming accidents thanks to their advanced skin-safe technology. I now feel confident shaving my boys.
Men, if you've been shaving with the same nut trimmer on your face, you've been doing it wrong. No person wants to end up with pubes in their mouth. It's time to get your own ball hair and body trimmer with Manscaped to make me time the best time and enhance your confidence with some nice, smooth boys.
Get 20% off and free shipping with the code RuffTalkVR, all one word, at manscaped.com. Your balls will thank you.
Hey guys, welcome to this episode of Ruff Talk VR, and today we're going sailing.
We're coming from the water today.
Oh yeah, talking about MarineVerse Cup, and I won't lie, this is one that you were excited for quite some time.
Yeah, I followed the late end of the development of the game and was pretty pumped because I'm limited in the sailboat size I sailed, but I'm excited to sail. I love sailing, so yeah, this is a sailing simulation / racing.
Yep, I think the day it came out, I was at work. I got a picture message from you. I see it's fucking purchased. I was like, oh, there it is. He was ready. So this is a game made by developers. Again, it's MarineVerse Cup. It's a VR sailing game made by developers MarineVerse. It's on the official Oculus Quest store. Just came out February 24th, 2022. It's currently rocking 98 total ratings with 63 written reviews.
That's a good disparity. That's an unusually high disparity.
Yeah, usually you see 98 total ratings. You'll see, 30 written reviews or something like that.
Yep.
So it's pretty high to the amount of people who rated it to wrote a review. And as well, it's currently got a 4.6 overall, and it's $19.99 on the official Oculus MetaQuest store.
Correct.
So, but I will give a disclaimer.
Yes.
So this game, they give you 2 sailing options. You get a yacht and a dinghy, but there is a third boat,
The Wasp.
the Wasp. However, in order to access the Wasp, you need to pay a sailing pass. I guess you could call it that's their version of a season pass, maybe.
Well, it's a subscription.
Yeah,
Monthly or yearly, depending on how you want to play it, I guess.
Yep, but monthly it's $13 a month to get access to this Wasp.
Yeah, and you also... there's going to be some other things you get boat customization as far as colors go, is my understanding.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to lie.
That's a little...
That one threw me a curveball.
Yeah,
I'm like, in it, we say for everybody deserves to eat, it's fair enough. But I didn't expect to go into it and see 2 boats, and then the third one you have to pretty much pay for that.
Is monthly?
Here's my question. If you do pay the $13 and you get the boat and then go, screw that, I don't want to pay another $13 next month.
Do you lose the boat?
That's
a good question. I won't lie. I didn't
because I'll pay the $13 for the boat, but if I'm going to lose it next month, because there's no way in God's green earth I'm paying $13 again.
Yeah, every month. And I agree with that. If it was like a skin, like a Pop One skin, even $9.99, I would have paid $9.99 for the boat.
Yeah, not a big deal.
Seeing monthly, I was like, ooh, I'm staying away from that.
Yeah, in open disclosure, it's like it's a brand new game, so what you're getting for the money is stuff that's coming down the road. So I mean, it's not like you're going to pay the $13 and you're going to have an amazing ton of options that. So I'm torn on this one.
Yeah.
And the game itself, we'll talk about that, but
yeah,
subscription services, it's like I don't know.
Yeah, and there's been other games that we've reviewed. Like example, Les Mills has the plan to come out with a subscription service.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of content in the base game.
Yeah, there's like over 30 workouts that you can do.
2 boats isn't that much. And for the third, which looks pretty cool, but
it's a badass boat. It flies.
13 a month is tough. But
and,
nonetheless.
And I'll just say I haven't seen one flying in the water anytime I've played.
Oh, in the multiplayers?
Yeah. I haven't seen one yet. So if you have one, is it worth it? And did you lose it if you didn't pay for it? Is what I want to know.
Yep. So yeah, if anybody's, shelled out the 13 a month, yeah, please answer those 2 questions. Did you lose the boat if you stopped paying? And how much was it worth the 13?
Is it worth it?
Because in this review, we're going to talk about the base content of what you get for
we're not going to talk
$19.99.
about any subscription service after that. So this is just the base model game.
Yep. But it is a single player and a multiplayer game that does have actually some co-op feature to it.
It says co-op.
Yep.
And we did get to try it.
Mm-hmm. It's a little limited, but we'll get a little bit
You're
more.
there.
Yeah, you're there.
You're there.
It's hard to both. So you're both on the same boat, but it is kind of hard to sail together at the same time.
No, certain boats, it just doesn't. I can't. And it's weird because when you and I did it, and like I think I was doing the sails, and because we took the yacht out, which has the 2 sails. Plus it's got the foil sail if you go, but we'll talk about that down the road. And I'm like, I've never sailed where I didn't control both the steering and the sails. It was just like, so this is weird.
I ended up just, letting you take over, and I would go to like the front of the ship.
Yeah, they give you different spots on the boat that you can go to because when you change directions, like in the small boat specifically, there's weight issues. So you want to go from one side of the boat to the other, which is pretty accurate.
Yeah. But basically, just to finish that up, what ended up happening for the co-op was one person sailing and the other person enjoying the views.
Yeah, just kind of chilling.
Yeah, which is nice. It's relaxing. But just for the gameplay of this game, let's say you load it up for the first time, something I have to give them a lot of credit for, and we had talked about this a little bit off air, man, they do a really good job with the tutorial of educating you about the boat. You load in, and unfortunately, it's one of those games that they want you to go to their website and make an account. So you're going to have that little part of the process.
Have an option.
You do, but you're limited on feeters. You don't
that's
get all
right.
the
You
boats.
won't get the other
yacht.
You only get 50% of the boats.
Nope.
Yep.
So they're just back to this, kind of like the subscription thing. I'll rant a little bit. You load in the first time. They're like, let's make an account. You go to make the account. They're like, all right, now go check your email.
Email verification.
Yep. And you're like, awesome. So then you have to go take off your headset, go get the pin, go put the headset back on, go type it in. Now you can play. So then from there, they give you a really good tutorial of sailing, though. Like, just to start, before you even go out there and into the waters, they're like, let's learn the terms of everything. Because we're going to throw some coaching at you, and you got to know what shit's called, So they'll be like, what's the
mast? Or what's the where's the rudder? Where's the boom? No, that's to me the area where they actually shine. At the end of the day, I think they shine the most. Is if you've never sailed and know nothing about sailing, if you really pay attention, they do an amazing job, even with the actual sailing, because they'll teach you about wind direction, sail direction, the terms for the sail direction, port and starboard. It really, like, if you go into it and go, look, I'll never be able to sail in my life, but I've always wanted to, because the experience in real life it's amazing.
Mm-hmm. But it can be, intimidating if you don't know how to sail, to just
you
go rent a boat and go out there by
out.
yourself. So they do a great job right after the vocab, like you said. From there they actually teach you how to sail, and it's pretty accurate to real life. There's a lot of tutorials for each boat as well, and they give you a nice tutorial checklist. So you can either go in and pick any tutorial to do, or there's an objective list with different levels. So you start as I don't even remember the names of them, but they get pretty funny.
Oh yeah, they give you, it doesn't matter either, but they give you different
ranking, I guess.
Rankings in the game, yeah.
So to get to the next ranking, they'll be like, here's 6 objectives you got to do to get through them, And basically, you know, by the time you get to the final level, you have done all the tutorials in whatever order they want. But if you don't really care about that, you can also just go and pick any tutorial to do. But what's nice is like you go out there, so you learn the vocab, and then they'll teach you how to steer. Then they start to teach you about wind direction. They start to teach you the no-fly zone. So on your compass, there's this big, you know, red bar, which is basically like, hey, that's the area that the wind's blowing into you. So if you go and face that, you're not going to move. So you got to, you know, they teach you really good how to, I guess, use the wind to your benefit. They'll teach you how to
negotiate the weather.
Yep, they'll teach you how to like zigzag in and out of the no-fly zone, or not no-fly zone, the no-sail zone, just to manipulate it. They give you a lot of tips, so it's like by the time you finish the tutorial, you have really good understanding of, you know, not just how to use the boat, but how to really manipulate it in an advanced way.
What's crazy is if someone actually, not the yacht, because the yacht's a, you know, that's a 2-sail, it's a big ass boat.
Mm-hmm.
But the dinghy, which is, you know, your more traditional, I've never sailed before, or whatever. You see them at resorts and shit. You could easily get right in that boat and be like, I'm good. I totally, there's no reason you couldn't sail that boat. If you never have sailed it and have sailed the dinghy in this game, yeah, you could sail. Yeah,
the yacht would definitely, I agree, be a lot more intimidating.
No, that's a bigger animal.
Mm-hmm.
There's different,
and
there's real life rules that would apply that don't necessarily apply in the game to, like, especially stopping a boat of that size.
Yeah,
it's not as, you
the
know,
physics of it. I guess
you really got to know when to take your sail down and use your little. They usually have little motors to get you in the port and shit.
I'll say it like this: at no point in this game will your boat flip.
No, you don't.
So...
You can't. I even rock the hell out of
it
because if you sit on one side and you're in still water, you notice the boat is
like
tilting.
Yeah, beyond tilted.
So what I'll do is sit in the middle and I'll stand up, and that's the other thing is I recommend playing sitting down, and they give you
height
at the
adjustment.
start. Yeah, they give you a height adjustment, but your head just wants to be below the boom, which would be accurate to real life. So when the boat turns from left to right and the sail goes whipping across, which, mind you, is how people get hurt on sailboats.
Yep, I could totally picture that.
Yep, standing up and then
the
person's taking a corner and the wind's going to change, so he lets the sail out. Think of this, on a bigger boat.
Yep.
You know, on the smaller boat, it could maybe knock you down, but on the bigger boat,
you're going out.
It could fucking kill you.
Yeah.
I mean, that thing's going to come whipping.
You might get knocked out, so it's, you know, you're
knocked
sinking.
out in the water, you're dead.
Yep. So, luckily you don't have that issue with the VR
there's
headset.
no, like, violent element to this.
Like I said, you can't tip. If you crash, your boat just stops.
There's not even a rain cloud.
No.
And they also, they don't have choppy water at all. There's no waves. There's no chop.
No.
And they do that, from what I had read, was to mitigate the ability of feeling sick.
Oh, I could imagine that. Imagine if this is like the first game you play, and then there's big waves, and you're going up and down, up and down. Yeah,
I
that
would
could be
like
a little
to
intense.
see, you know, for what it's worth,
The option to toggle it on.
Yeah, like, you know, real life simulation where your boat could tip over, because guess what, folks? It can, especially them little ones.
Yeah.
They can, and you even see the pros do it in the races. But yeah, something that would give you the ability of, like, you know, weather condition.
I guess maybe call it a hardcore mode.
Thunderstorms.
A realism mode, something like that.
But it teeters the fence between sailing simulation and really racing game.
Yeah.
So it's more racing game than it is sailing simulation.
After you finish the tutorials, which again are real nice, they teach you really good how to use the boats. From there, like you said, it's all there is races. For single player,
races and mini games where you, like, harvest fish, these big. I mean, I won't lie, I laughed my ass off.
Yeah.
But it's like, okay, you know, it's, I mean, and even like the co-op, I mean,
it's the same as the single player.
It's it's the same as the race. It's the same as the single player.
All you're doing is racing.
Yeah, and you don't have to race.
Yeah,
you can just go in there and just
sail around.
Sail and
there's
don't
even free
race.
Sailing but here's the thing. So you go in there. Lost my train of thought.
No,
it happens. Sometimes it happens.
Okay.
All right. So, but nonetheless, so you go in there, you start racing, and you do one race. You're like, all right, time to try out a new game mode. That's it.
It's a race. I mean, they give you different locations.
Yeah.
But it doesn't graphically seem to matter, because at the end of the day, you're on blue water.
Yeah. In order to get the new locations too, you have to finish like a daily race in that location. So, example, I think you start with Sydney, Australia, if I remember correctly. So, in order to get the next location, you have to
Shout
finish a
out
race
to
there.
Australia.
Yeah, a lot of the
I'd
games.
love to go in their water. They got some of the nicest water in the world, is my understanding.
I've noticed a lot of these games seem to give you Australia as the starting location. I think in Ultra Wings, Australia was the starting location as well.
That I'm not going to quote on.
Yeah, but I that's what my gut says. Nonetheless, it has to be just because Australia is beautiful.
Yeah. And the only people who seem to be able to enjoy it are Australians. So I've never been there. It's a long ass flight for us, 24 hours.
Unfortunately, big ass time zone difference too.
Yeah, and there's variables in the water that you can hit that'll slow you down. I've noticed the bots, because there are bot drivers if you want in the boats in the background. They have no shame in hitting your boat. Be cautious of that. But there's also light blue water, which is shallow water, and that'll obviously cause a problem to your boat. And then there's deep water sections that'll really freaking propel your boat hard. So you catch those, you're going to get a nice little boost.
Mm-hmm. There's also nothing about the gameplay, just aesthetically. Mm-hmm. There's a very low resolution pixelated whale tail that might pop up every once in a while when you're
out in the distance.
Yep. One time when we were racing, or not racing, because we selected a race and then totally ignored the race and just started sailing around.
We were sailing.
One of the times when we were sailing in multiplayer, I was literally right over the whale. I could see his whole body.
Under the water?
Yeah, it was pretty cool. It's the only time it's ever happened.
I've only caught it out in distance.
Yep. That's before that. I'd only ever seen the tail go up, but I got up there. It was right near one of the I guess buoy checkpoints of the race, and dude, he was freaking there, and they made a massive. It was pretty cool.
No, it was an unexpected feature.
Yeah, nothing to do with the gameplay.
Curious if we'll eventually see like sharks floating around, and dolphins, and
dangerous
like
waters.
A chase the dolphin type thing. Like, who knows? But at the end of the day, it really is a
racing
for what you get with the game for $19.99. You get 2 boats, you get the dinghy, and you get the yacht,
and daily races.
And daily races, which
to me, it's.
I mean, shame on me because it clearly is a racing game, but I wish it was more of just flat out simulation game.
Yeah, call me crazy. I was hoping, for example, if we did free sailing. I know this is, I hate to play a game and go, oh, I wish this, because like you said, shame on you for not, fully reading or whatever.
I didn't care,
but
that was the problem.
I wish that there was more like docking, taking off. So example, I wish that we could, if we free sailed, I wish that we could just pick a destination to go to.
Yeah, oh no, dude.
And sail together. That would make the co-op sailing so much more fun. Like, hey, we're going to go dock to this island over there,
Or even co-op with 2 different boats, but...
Yeah, just both sailing to the same destination.
Which one could argue you could do in multiplayer, but
versus just either doing the race or ignoring the race and sailing around in circles for like 20 minutes.
I mean, opinion wise, and my opinion's shit. So if anybody cares, it really doesn't matter. It's just an opinion. But if I look at the bigger picture for the game, focusing on a sailing simulation with, like you said, challenges to get to different places, or the free sailing where you have more of like the open world, go to a location and dock the boat, maybe some upgrades that you could earn for being good, like a faster sail, better boat, something, racing be like a mini game.
Yeah, not the whole
focus.
Core. Yeah, I agree 100% on that.
Yep.
And like, so the mini game that you were talking about before with collecting giant fish, it's hysterical. There's 3 levels of it, obviously, to get. Well, what's weird is if you finish level 1, it gives you level 2 and level 3 at the same time. It's not like you have to beat level 1, then level 2, then level 3. It's kind of odd in that regard. So you beat 1, then you get access to all the harvests. But there's 3 of them, and basically what you do, there's like 30 fish, I think, something like that. And you have to go around and collect them. And again, they're comical, giant, floating fish. So you're not like fishing in the ocean to get them. They're literally floating above sea. And you just have to crash into them. It's kind of a test for your steering. And when you're done with it, there's a leaderboard. So, there's some incentive. There's some psychopaths I saw who finished Harvest 1 in like 45 seconds or something like that. I'm like, you're nuts. It took me like 4 minutes.
Maybe those are the ones who have the wasp.
Yeah, maybe.
Right.
But nonetheless, to me, there wasn't enough of a difference in like Harvest 1, Harvest 2, Harvest 3 to say mini games. It's more, there's a mini game, To me, the most fun was definitely the tutorial, where it taught you about the boat, because I kind of enjoyed the educational piece, learning about the pieces and how to actually steer, manipulate, how to balance your boat by adjusting this sail, how to adjust the front one, the main one, move here. That was all really cool. Here's how you manipulate the wind. But then you beat the tutorials. To be honest with you, I'm not gonna do daily races, and then I get emails about them.
No, that's. I mean,
I'm gonna be honest with you.
Well, no, they're very active on. Let me put it nicely. They're very active on social media. So when you sign up,
Yeah,
you can opt out on their website
Yeah.
to receive daily emails, but you will get pretty frequent notifications.
Via email saying, hey, you missed today's daily race. And again, yeah, you can go right on the website, go right into your account, and turn off those daily notification
Yep.
emails. But I kind of got, I don't know, I have some bias against needing to go into like desktop or flat screen to manipulate my account for a VR game.
I got issue just because we live in a weird world where one thing could affect
Mhm.
another and vice versa. So it's
Yeah.
like less is more in the sense of information that I need to provide to
If
play
they,
a game.
If they have a website issue, can I not log into the game? Like that's that's kind of what you're putting down, right? It's
Yeah.
like there's more potential for,
It just seems, I don't know. I don't know what the, you can go to Discord and read. There's going to be future shit for the game coming
Mhm.
on. To what extent, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's like I see terms like esports and stuff, and I kind of roll my eyes because I'm like,
That's going more the
no.
direction of the racing.
Well,
It's-
just that, and there's no way that it's just not at that level.
No, and to be honest with you, the racing's
Not at this point.
I don't want to sound negative, but free sailing is a lot
You
more
do.
fun than racing.
No, again, it's MarineVerse Cup, not
Yeah,
MarineVerse
For
Sim.
sail.
Yeah. If
Yeah.
it was MarineVerse Simulation and
Yeah.
so and that's just it again. It's just so people know though. It's more, 100%
Racing
race
than
sailing than
open
having
sim.
a reason to not race sail.
Mm-hmm.
But
And again,
you don't have to race.
they
You
give-
can just sail.
but there's not anything in there.
No, it's the same play area as the race.
Mhm.
And if you cross over the start line after the 60-second timer or whatever, you essentially will be racing.
Yeah.
You just don't, just don't care about it.
Which, yeah, so that's what's cool about the races. Let's say you do a race, there's a countdown, I think 60 seconds.
Yeah, you got to kind of linger somewhere away from and that's where like the real technicality of sailing comes in, because you try to maintain a sailboat somewhere in the water near some area, you can really screw up.
Yeah, and so
And they'll tell you how badly too.
So it's not only that you can't cross the start line till the countdown's done. You want to propel yourself forward as fast as possible through it. So, you can come to a complete standstill close to the start line by, by facing where the wind's hitting you. But as soon as that countdown ends, it's hard to propel yourself. So you want to time it where, in my uneducated, I'm not very great at this game, so maybe don't listen to me at all. But what I was trying to do was, have some good speed going, but time it so that I was going fast as the countdown went to like 2, 1, and then bam.
That's how you're supposed to do it.
Yeah, it makes the most sense.
Yeah, because they put the start line typically in a dead air area.
Yep.
So if you're just lingering there, you're not going to move. So
No.
no, the strategy you use is that you want to know, like, okay, am I going to make it 10 seconds away if I turn around and zip in?
Yeah.
And cut at an angle? You're doing it perfect.
Well, the first time I played, I got as close to the start line as I could in the dead zone, so that, then I was like, all right, all I have to do is turn my boat a little bit and I'll take off. And all the other AI were super far back behind me. And I was like, these suckers, they're going to get blown out of the water. All of a sudden, the last like 7 seconds, I see these guys just zooming past me. And like, yeah, I was closer to the start line by the time the 0 hit.
But by the end,
Oh my God, they had so much speed on me. Like,
well, yeah, you got to go
because then I
around
had
the
to start turn and
3 different buoys, so there's potential to lose.
And it's realistic in the regard of, okay, so now you start facing a direction that the wind's pushing you. You don't go max speed right away. You're going to have to adjust your sail a little bit, for 1, because you turned your boat. And 2, you pick up speed. So if somebody's already got that momentum, you're screwed.
You're just chasing there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
But if you play bots, they're they make mistakes. They do weird
Yeah.
shit. They're like, thank God. I mean, if you really want to win,
Mm-hmm.
play the bots. But there's some badass players at this game.
Yeah, just by looking at the leaderboards, yeah, it's insane.
But I do wonder what boats they all use.
They're paying 13
I
bucks a month.
don't think. Amazingly though, the dinghy, I can maintain faster speeds in that than I can the yacht.
Well, because there's less sails to manipulate with. For me personally, I think that's what goes on with me. It's easy for me to lose my speed in the yacht if I turn, because it's not just adjusting one sail. You got to adjust the main and the front.
Yep.
So if and I'm not the best at recognizing which one's off balance, just because I'm not a great player. So sometimes, I start to lose speed. I'm like, fuck, which one do I got to move? So I'll move one, and I'm like, well, now I'm going.
And depending on the mode, they'll tell you like you're not pulling your sail tight enough.
Okay.
Or your sail's too loose.
I actually have one complaint.
What's that?
So I know I'm not good at the game.
Yeah.
But one time we were racing. It was one of the times that we were actually racing. And I was, man, these assholes. Like, I get it. I'm not good at this game. But, like, every 3 or 4 minutes, I was getting a message would pop up saying, hey, basically saying you're not doing good. Do you want to do a practice tutorial?
Maybe you should redo that.
Yeah,
tutorial.
maybe you should practice. Press OK if you want to practice.
I remember that.
And I kept being like, no, dude, I'm trying to just play multiplayer and just,
I'm trying to learn.
Trying to have fun.
Maybe that's why you need the
practice.
The practice.
But I'm trying to play with my friend.
Yeah, I know.
I get it. One time would have been okay, but it popped up like 5 times. I was like, dude, my goodness, I get it. I'm not that good at the game, but I already did the tutorial. You don't need to insult me.
No.
That was funny. But nonetheless,
right now it does feel to me like a very limited situation we got going on here.
Yeah, I was a little disappointed because doing the tutorials, I was like, oh shit, dude, this is gonna actually be a lot of fun. But then, like I said, you finished the tutorials, and I personally didn't enjoy racing a whole bunch. So there's basically just hang out with you and float around in the water.
Yeah, no, I mean, I look at this more of a, until I see additional stuff, which I don't know. I'm kind of under the impression that anything additional you're going to have to pay to see at this point, because I don't see anything coming for free anyway. So, I don't know. It's hurting my feelings a little, to be honest with you.
I was definitely a little turned off by the website integration, which I don't mind, but the amount it was forced of taking off my headset, putting it back on, and anything that I need to do on the website, I should be able to do from my headset, in my opinion. In terms of basic stuff like turning off notifications, or if I go and I make an account and I enter a password for the account, and you make me type in the password twice, I should be able to log in by typing in that password. I shouldn't need to take off my headset and then go get a pin. Like, what was the point of even making a password if I don't enter it?
I remember when I told you what you're gonna have to do. You were I could already hear it coming.
Well, because I won't lie.
That's exactly what you pretty much said too. So
I haven't done a factory reset on my Oculus, so it's gotten some updates. It's done a lot of downloads. It's probably got a lot of internal clutter in that regard. So sometimes it fucks up. So a big issue with my headset is if I'm playing a game and I take it off.
Oh yeah.
And then I put it back on. Oftentimes I'll have to restart my whole headset. So it's like it is honestly a big annoyance. If you're making me make a password,
it was only once.
Yeah.
Only once.
But now I have to fucking go back in to shut off these emails too. When I played the game a bunch, should have been able to.
I don't know. I don't mind the emails as much.
I don't know. I got some bias against forced website integration and forced monthly subscription packs.
Well,
and
it's not forced.
I know. But it's a third of the game when there's not much content already.
Well, they're holding the best.
So I'll call that forced.
They're holding that best boat hostage.
Monthly?
Yeah.
Monthly?
No, I won't.
One
the subscription is
that's a turn off to me.
What are you getting for your money is always what I would say, because
I don't mind it if there's a lot of content to justify it, and if the game wasn't $20 already. If it was like $10 or $5 and then you got to pay monthly, or it's $20 and there's a bunch of boats, and hey, the best boats you got to pay the subscription for, that's cool. That is what it is. But $20 for 2 boats and then $13.99 or $13 a month. For the 3rd boat is a little like, ooh.
You're renting it.
I
Is
wasn't
it a rental?
I wasn't expecting that.
You're renting it? No, I was actually
And I'm the guy who
full
always
blown
says,
angry, to be honest with you,
yeah,
because I figured you would get the 3 boats, and then you could get the season pass, and then it's gonna unlock some different shit. And I was like, I remember early on too. I was like, no, you just gotta earn it, dude. Just do all the challenges and do
I was
everything.
like, no,
and
you
then
got to
you'll
pay
get it.
$13 a month. You're
Yeah.
like, what?
I was like, nah, dude, that's impossible. And then
And I'm like, no, go
Yeah,
look
I
at the
know.
boat. It says
No,
you
you were
need the
right.
sailing pass.
you were right. And
And
I
then
was
you
like,
go look
shit.
at this. They
didn't
kindly
know.
offer you to pay it for a year, though.
I didn't. Yeah. I don't even get me started, because I mean, all right. That one pissed me off. All right, I get the month thing. I don't know what you're getting for your money for it right now.
Besides, well, I'll tell you what you get. You
you
get
get
one
futures.
boat. You get one boat, and you get to change the color of your boat.
And you get some futures that are supposed to happen
Oh,
down the road.
and
But
by
you
the
can
way-
buy a dinghy used for like under $1,000. So I mean,
How about renting one for a day?
renting one? I can rent a motorboat for $50 for the day
Mm-hmm.
with an outboard motorboat for $50. I
So-
get it for 8 hours.
I feel really bad saying this because I'm always the guy who's like, dude, developers have to eat. Like, I understand charging a price, but
They should eat,
my attitude.
and they made a decent game.
Yeah, it's fun, but I do feel like if you're gonna go the subscription route, there needs to be a lot
Charge
of content.
more than you're going to charge 55% of what you charge for the game.
Yeah, that's monthly. There needs to be a lot in the subscription, but there needs to be a lot of base content too.
Well, there needs to be value for money spent at the end of the day, whether it's just on a game alone or, I get the subscription model works for some games, but it doesn't work for all of them.
And I'm not saying it wouldn't work for this. 13's a little high, but even then,
Well, again, okay, I'll play. What are you getting for it?
that's what I'm saying. It can be $13. There just has to be more than 33% of the boats.
I'll promise you a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow for $13.99, but doesn't mean I'm going to give you a pot of gold.
I'm totally open to subscription models. It's not that. It's just
it's
exactly what you
value
said.
for money.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, it's like, if someone said, hey, do you recommend it? I can't talk about it, but even if I paid it, I wouldn't recommend it because I don't see anything in writing that justifies.
But what I will say, though, is if somebody does like sailing in real life, or if somebody has always wanted to learn educationally about sailing, but, is intimidated to go out in real life and go get a boat, there is some really good educational...
There's good, value for that.
Yeah, we can talk if $20, is worth it.
It is with the third boat unlocked.
I agree. If you could unlock the third boat,
$14.99 if you're only going to give me 2.
I agree with that. Yeah. But from an educational stance and for somebody who just likes sailing and just wants to float around for a little bit, it isn't a bad game. I hope I don't sound too negative or too harsh.
No, is someone going to be upset? Yeah, I'm sure. There's people who play it who are really good at it, and maybe they found that value for the money, and that's a discussion we can easily have with someone who pays the subscription model and is like, hey, you guys are terrible, you're shitting on this, and this is what you really get, but prove it to me.
But it wasn't a terrible game either. No, and like I again, once you're done with the tutorials, the replayability for me started to fall flat, but I will give them, for the 100th time, a lot of credit for the educational sense and for the realistic to life. Again, besides the fact you can't tip and you can't
tip
crash,
and you can't, you don't.
But
really
like the
crash.
weight distribution, the way you have to point your sails, teaching you about wind.
This is the wind and the moving the sails are. Steering is it all is going to come down to that at the end of the day.
Yeah.
In real life, it's like, how do you read? Reading wind and they even show you, like, if you look at the top of your sail, there's different instruments on the sail that'll teach you wind pattern. And again, the terminology for even, if your sail is, tilted off to the right, what the term for that is, or if it's on the left side, what the term for that is. They really did. I will not shit on them at all for the educational value they brought to the table with teaching someone how to sail.
Yeah, so I really don't want to sound overly negative because there was a lot to appreciate about this game. It was definitely,
and it was fun.
Yeah,
I mean, it was the gameplay of it to me was pretty decent.
It's just that this might actually be a good example of a game that might be better to have waited and reviewed a year down the line. Maybe if we never reviewed this and a year reviewed it, would be like, wow, there's so many features, it's so in depth.
It's kind of,
But unfortunately, just at this time, you get a really good educational piece some daily races, some different environments to sail around in, and 2 boats.
Yep.
And
you can see that third boat though.
You know what's weird about human psychology?
What?
If there was only 2 boats, the third boat was not there, and there was no subscription option, and the game was $20, but there was just those 2 boats, and again, no mention of the subscription.
Yeah.
I'd probably be like, "Woo, totally worth it."
Yeah.
But it's the fact that there's a third boat that's not unlockable, and I don't. I don't want to keep repeating the same things. If there was 6 boats already, and then the last ones were subscription, that would be understandable because there's so many boats already.
You want to make it even worse, I guess, in a way, is it's obvious by looking at this boat. It's a better boat. It's a fast boat, right? It looks fast.
Oh, they make it look pretty.
Make it look like it's going to tear through the water. So in theory, if you're paying, you might be paying for an actual advantage. So it might be one of those situations. And that would, again, I'm not paying for it. So I'm just being stubborn about it until I see a reason to, I guess. I just don't want to.
If it was one time.
Well, again, if I'm going to pay for something and then lose it 30 days later because rent is due on my digital WASP storage fee is I mean, is that what we've come to?
Yeah, it's a little
GTA is going to charge you real money for gas when your car needs gas. Is that what I'm getting?
Yeah, I would have rather paid $25 but had the ability to unlock the third boat.
That's you, man.
Yeah.
If I had paid $24.99, I don't even want to talk about it.
Okay, yeah,
I probably wouldn't review it.
I might have to retract my words a little bit there.
Yeah, that's a very steep, point. Even for 3 boats. But at the end of the day, if you want the third boat, you're going to pay $30. So, $33, $35 after tax with everything, and you might lose it. So again, it's like
Yeah, I really hope in future updates, and I know it's not going to happen.
Listen. This is all right. Because it does, I'm hearing it in my own headset, and I'm like, wow, you guys just sound like assholes. You really do. But, in fairness to where we gave it the most props for, and I'm going to give the developer props because they're very earworthy. If people have suggestions, they are super, wanting the feedback so they can make this game better.
Yeah.
So it's not like this is some cheap money ploy, and they just, we got your money, and see ya. No, they're like...
They're active.
I've seen some pretty ridiculous things brought up, and they've responded and been like, "No, we want the feedback. Yeah, doesn't matter."
If you go join their Discord, you go message the developer, you go post in there, he's gonna answer the question. In my experience, within minutes.
Yeah, see, that's pretty damn good.
So he's great. There's a lot of great things to say. So
I don't know if the guy you get the email from is a community manager or the actual developer.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of good things to say about this, so I really hope we don't seem overly,
depends on what you're into.
Yeah.
If you don't care about repetition, that's not going to change, and
you're happy just doing
shelling
daily
out
races.
$150 a year, then this game's for you.
Yeah, if you're happy with daily races and everything, but I know they're not going to, so I know I'm wrong. I know I'm just talking to a wall, but selfishly for myself, I hope they go more the educational route and the simulator route than
if they actually just slowly got rid of the cup word and changed the direction.
Maybe I'm in the minority, though. Maybe it's just me. Maybe everybody else is like, dude, fucking racing in this game is the best. To me, the best part is floating around and learning shit,
Yeah, well, I've sailed and...
Could just be me.
I've sailed and love sailing, and I love catching the wind just right, and you can tilt the boat, especially catamarans. That's my favorite boat in the world to sail. Is a little mini I say mini, they're not like the ones that hold 24 people. But it's an amazing feeling. But racing, I'm all set.
Yeah, but again, we could be in the minority there. But for I really hope in a year we can revisit this, because the amount of...
I think if we go back to it a year from today, we'll have a totally different mindset of where this game has gone, good, bad, or indifferent. But there's definitely some onus on them to what's
in that 13 what's in that $13, and am I going to
promote you're going to promote that pass. You need to be dangling shit around everywhere, because I can't tell you what I'm really getting for that money.
Yeah, well, I'm going to be honest with you. There's 2 big questions. Exactly that. What am I going to get for $13 a month? And am I still getting more features and updates and shit to the base game, or is it only going to be the subscription?
Season pass subscriptions, yeah.
And that, because I'll, again, $20 for the base game of what there's in there now. Just it could just be because I see the subscription pass in the third boat and it's locked, but it seems a little flat for $20.
No, the other problem is you know, not everyone has that kind of disposable, and it's kind of, I guess technically, okay, it's accurate, because if you really want it to sail, there is an expense. Like I said, you get a used boat for under $1,000, whatever, but you're still gonna have to spend a lot of money to do it. You got to transport the boat, get a trailer. So them charging you $100 is kind of unfortunate, because it almost gives it that snootiness, like not everyone can sail.
But that
not everyone can afford to sail.
But you'd hope a sailing game on a
Would
$299
yeah,
a $299 VR headset with a sailing game should be looking to overcome that obstacle, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's kind of where I was going at. It'd be like if a golf game came out and said, okay, here's hole 1, but it's going to cost you $24.99 to join our country club.
Yep.
It's like, okay, so we're exclusioning this next. Is the next skiing game going to start charging me ski passes? So it's like, no, I'm not down with it. I'm done shitting on it, because I'm at that point where I feel like I'm just going to do nothing but really downgrade the subscription aspect.
Well,
but
because there is a lot of good about the game too.
I enjoy talking about games, and I enjoy playing them, and I enjoy saying to people that, like, you get good value for the money at the end of the day. So when there's an aspect to something that doesn't, it's like, okay, it borderline maybe shouldn't have even reviewed it, kind of in my head thing. Yeah, well, but I wanted this game since it was in development. There was no walking away from it.
Well, I do always want my word to mean something. So if I sit here for every game and go, psh, fucking worth every penny without a doubt, that subscription model, hell yeah, pay that money.
No, you're just a shill.
You can't, you know, if you don't honestly feel something, you can't say it, in my opinion. Well, you can, but that's wrong.
I'm sure we're gonna get some
flack, you know.
I'm not going to call it flack. I don't think there's any flack to give, because I don't think anybody can debate it as being the truth. So can't debate the truth, but somebody might be able to shed some light on their experience and how come it was worth it to them. I'm totally down to hear that.
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't have this vision that everybody is loaded and with a huge disposable income. And I know some people, it's like, hey, I can't buy 5 games this week. You know, maybe I can buy a couple games a month at the most. So it's like, if the game's $20 with a subscription model,
dude, I don't care if it's $10 with that subscription model. It doesn't. That's such a weird number, anyways.
Yeah, $13. Yeah, yep. I have to be able to say, you know, that if I honestly believe it, I need to be able to say it. But
like, yeah, you got to have it.
But if I don't I can't say that. No, you know.
So it's cool that you don't have to have it. It's not like, you know, your main game's going to be held hostage for the 20 you spent. It's just you're just pretty limited.
And I will say too, because we didn't touch on it, there's avatars in this game. If you play co-op, there's an avatar. It's a block with a painting on it. You can't see any arms, or you can't see a gesture. You can change your avatar. Guess how?
Website, baby.
You got to go online, go on their website, and there's some avatar changes. I don't get it, man. If you have the I'm not taking my headset off to go on your website, and if I have to do it later, I'm not going to do it.
No, dude, I get it.
That's the reality.
I'm more banking on the futures with this game.
Yeah, I hope we can revisit this in a year and almost montage certain things we said in this episode.
Yeah,
and just how wrong they ended up being.
I want to be wrong every step of the way on this one.
Yeah, but nonetheless, you want to get into our final thoughts, our rating, everything like that?
Go for it.
All right. So before that, you know, let me do my please, sir, may I have some more begging like always. If you enjoyed this episode and our honesty and all that fun stuff, be sure to, you know, subscribe, rate us 5 stars on whatever podcast platform you listen on. Write us a review, all that stuff. Just like for the developers of these games, they always say when we interview them, hey, leave us a review. It helps. Same thing for us. If you enjoy it, leave us a little written review. Boom. Awesome. You can also go join our official subreddit at reddit.com/r/RuffTalkVR or rufftalkvr.reddit.com, or just visit the link in our show notes, the episode description. You can also join our Discord, you know, 2 active and growing communities. There's also a link to support our podcast, either with a one-time donation or a monthly donation, totally up to you. We have a couple of supporters. I guess we should give them a shout out. They support every month, and shame on us. We never really shout on them. So Bam, It's Fluffy, and Mantiev, those are two of our monthly guys. So
pretty much from day one.
Yeah. So shout out to them. If you want to, go support as well, go visit that link, join our communities, rate us 5 stars, all that fun stuff.
Funny for you to say that after coming off shitting on a person or a game for subscription. But we don't do subscription.
No. No. Hey.
Nor am I. I don't know. How's this? We'll say every other word. If you want to fill in the blanks, you have to do the subscription.
If somebody goes and listens to our early episodes,
no, I know, dude. I know.
We tried. We were like, if you subscribe, we'll give you videos or extra. I want all of our content to be free.
Free, yeah.
And if somebody wants to pay because they're enjoying it,
yeah,
then that's awesome.
We're holding nothing hostage.
No, I just thought it was
a funny irony.
Yeah, it is.
Because in my head, I'm like, well, what am I getting for it?
Yeah,
it's like the fact that we're not ever going to charge for content.
Yeah, 3 hours of free content a week. Yeah,
you don't have to pay shit. We're still going to do it.
Yeah, but that was funny.
But no,
it always is good to bust balls.
To the people that have popped in and popped out, and to the ones who do it all the time, it's like, damn. Yeah. That's pretty cool.
Subreddit's getting close to 200 as well, so it's exciting.
All right, so drop your rating here, man.
All right, so we have 4 categories here. Listeners of this podcast hear this every week. If this is your first time and you're still listening after, some criticisms and all that, then, our 4 categories are gameplay, aesthetics, functionality, and replayability. And we rate each one on a scale of 1 to 25, with the total of each 4 categories making up the total score. Pretty straightforward. So gameplay, I'm going to give them a 20 out of 25. Again, the educational aspect of it is really good. I do wish you could tip. I wish you could crash into things. I wish that there was more things besides collecting fish or racing. But in terms of the core gameplay, they do really good with the sailing. Again, the weight distribution of the sails, where you're actually physically, sitting, the way you have to steer, they knock it out of the park with that regard. And I can't say it enough. I loved the educational aspect, because you're kind of I'll joke and say a sailing geek. You love sailing. It's always been something I've heard you talk about. Me, I don't know all these technical terms, so I had a lot to learn, and they really did a great job with that. So gameplay, 20. Aesthetics, I'm gonna give them a 20 as well. The boats, they're really detailed. The water's really nice. The least high graphics thing, the lowest resolution aspect is the whale tail popping out of the ground or popping out of the ocean. It looks pretty pixelated, but weirdly enough, when you find the actual whole whale itself, it looks kind of nice. It's weird. It's like, for some reason, they made the tail super low resolution, but the whole whale itself, decent. It's funny. But the aesthetic, the graphics on it are actually really good. They're not, real VR fishing by any means, but they're good graphics on the Quest. So I'm going to give them a 20 on aesthetics. Functionality, I'm going to give them a 25. I didn't have any glitches or anything. It took me some learning. They give you some options of how you want to do the sails. You can either use your analog sticks, or you can actually point and grab them. So it's nice that they even give you those options in case you're mentally fumbling with one. All right, let me just point and drag. I didn't have any glitches, any crashes to desktops, any issues really connecting to multiplayer. So I can't give them anything on functionality. I'm going to give them a 25. Replayability is where the game, in my opinion, most struggled. Like I said, for me personally, in my review, once I finished the tutorial, once I went to the races, I did 1 or 2 races. I did multiplayer with you. I don't know. There wasn't incentive to keep going back in. And that makes me a little concerned when I see that $13.99 subscription model. I'm like, if there's only one boat, I don't know. There wasn't a lot of replayability to me. I hope that they expand the educational piece and especially the simulating aspect. I hope that there's destinations to sail, docking, undocking. I don't know. I hope they go more that route than the racing, because the racing doesn't bring me back into the game every day. So replayability, I'm going to give them a 10. So 20, 20, 25, and 10, that's 75.
Mm-hmm. That's about what I thought you were going with it. Gameplay to me, I give them a 20. It's all right. It's fun. Again, the strongest points of this game are probably the one they didn't intend to be, which was the educational aspect of it. Home run. I mean, take someone who's never sailed and just have them keep doing that 3 or 4 times, and then actually go out there in the water, get that hands on, and then throw them in a real boat. I bet you they'd be able to do it, other than the sinking and tipping over factor. And you'd have to do it on like flat. Like
I was going to say,
lake.
and if there's any waves or current,
yeah, no ocean sailing for any of these peeps, which is weird because technically it seems like you're in the ocean in this game, and I'll take the waves all day long. So, but they get a 20. Aesthetics, I give them a 20. Nothing over the top. The best graphics, I think, are the boats and the kitty cat that exists in your little dock area that you have. You got a little pet cat. Meow. It's cute. But those are probably the 2 highest detailed things I've seen in the game. The shining moment, again, I'll go back to, is more of the words and the educational of what it is. But they get a 20. Functionality, it's probably my strongest one. I'll give them a 25. It works like it's supposed to. You know, if I had any issue, it would be, you know, you can move from different locations in the boat and you kind of teleport to that area per se. But occasionally I use the wrong stick, and then your character snap turns to the right. And you're like, ah, shit. So you got to like turn yourself back, which doesn't always work. And then I just turn my chair and I'm back in business, but whatever. Replayability, you know, I've pretty much done the game. I know what it's about now. No reason to go back other than I just want to chill, I guess. I'm not gigging them for being a racing game. So nowhere in here am I like downgrading it because, oh, I don't like the racing aspect. It's like, well, it is a racing game. And I even brought that up that, you know, if you don't, like, shame on me. But I just wanted to sail. I didn't care in what capacity. But my replayability is only a 10. I have no reason to go other than just to chill and relax and, you know, fart around, have some fun. But I'll see what the future brings. Overall, they get a 75.
Yeah, shame on us for not mentioning that cat. Besides him just being
it's not really a big deal.
Well, sir, if you talk to him, he talks back.
Of course.
And I won't give spoilers or anything, but he'll tell you some tasks to do, which is just the objectives in your list. So keep doing them and keep talking to him. So
no, the cat's cute. It was a nice
cat's part of the game.
Little dot kitty.
Yeah.
Dot kitty cat.
Another thing I couldn't bump him up to 25 on the aesthetics for. The main interface is a little, I don't know, low graphical looking.
Now again,
but other than that,
this game's literally been out for a few weeks.
Yeah, and look at our scores. So the gameplay we rated very high.
Mm-hmm.
Aesthetics we rated high.
Yeah.
Functionality we rated high.
Just the replayability.
It's just the content in there. It's like the core game itself. You see a lot of potential. It's just that there's not enough to keep you going. But
well, how's this? It's got a 75 from actually both of us today.
Yeah.
If a year from now we can review it, well, if it hasn't changed, we're not going to talk about it.
Yeah.
but if like a lot of things keep happening and you know, a year has gone by and you can still look at it as like, wow, it's a $20 game. Mm-hmm. What are you getting for that $20? Because I've seen a lot of examples where, you know, 2 years ago, that game that sold for $20 was pretty stripped down. And then if you had bought it 2 years later, what you're getting is almost like, man, I feel bad I bought it when it first came out. But
it's just looking at our score. It would be very simple to bump it up to an 85 to even a 95.
Just
very
more original
easily.
content.
Yeah. If we review a game and the gameplay is like a 10 and graphics are like a 10, functionality is real clunky, that's tough. You got a big uphill battle.
No, this is just more just as a content issue.
Yeah. That's
and I'm not no bullshit here. And it's the last time I'm going to bring up the subscription thing, but seemingly you're not going to be able to play the full scope of content for the game without that subscription.
They seem
including an up to multiplayer.
They imply that in the description of the game. So as of right now, of the time that we're recording this game, this episode right now, today, you go into the app description, and it says that you need the sailing pass for multiplayer. Mm-hmm. It says multiplayer and co-op, but
it's not really true.
But you don't. But that worries me. That gives me one of two thoughts: either they were going to do that, and somebody was like, "Hey, bro, that's a fucking terrible idea," or they're letting it be free for the first month or so, and eventually they're going to turn it on that you need this. If they do that, man,
All
I'll
you're-
revisit this interview in a
all
much
All you're
different
gonna get
capacity.
is you're gonna get the dinghy and never a windy day.
I won't lie. If
That'd be genius.
dude,
You
I'm
gotta
being
pay
honest
for the
with
wind,
you.
man.
If they turn it to the point that you need the sailing pass for any online features, oh man,
Nothing you're
rest
gonna
in
do.
peace.
Yeah.
Rest in peace. It's done.
Yeah,
It's
no,
over.
that would- I don't think-
there's no
I don't-
revisiting. It's done.
I don't think at that point it would be a wash.
So I think that they went to go do it, and somebody was like, "Dude, you can't do
Can't do
that.
that.
You cannot." At the current state of ever.
Mm.
I don't want to see Oculus games starting to get in the press. Sorry, MetaQuest games getting the precedent that we need to pay monthly per game
For online.
just for online features. Get the fuck out of here.
No,
I'm
ain't-
sorry.
ain't.
I'm gonna get raged in a second.
No,
And that's the thing when we start to sound negative for a second, it's because we're vibing and we're talking with each other. So I don't know if anybody else talks in real life, but sometimes you start to get passionate and worked up. So like you start to snowball a little bit. So, I was pretty calm a second ago, but then there's the thought of charging.
Yeah, but I can't. I'm not taking that out on this game.
No, but it's in the description for the game. They say that they're going to
Yeah,
that
but
that's
it is.
the case.
It actually is not the case.
No,
though.
so if you-
what's funny is if you read their description, you would think
yeah.
that's 100% accurate,
But
and it's not.
As of right now,
you
multiplayer.
can play multiplayer. Yes,
But it gives me the man. That means either one of two things: somebody told them not to, or they're going to. And either way, I'm concerned.
we'll find out.
So,
We'll get to the bottom of this.
all right, there's some investigating to do here. Let's see if Greg from MarineVerse sends us an email about this.
All right, Greg, you're coming on the show in a couple of weeks. Just
We'll
so
see.
you're aware, we're going to be talking in a couple of weeks. No,
All
I
right.
mean, I actually would love to talk to
Yeah, I got a shit ton of questions. I'll
either
tell
the
you
developer or the community manager, and hopefully some of it can.
that. Do you have
put
some
some of-
questions?
Yeah, I got a few.
I got a bunch of questions,
I got
so
a
that's
few.
awesome. Hopefully, we can schedule
Nothing
something like that.
negative. I mean, I
No.
never want to come across as like you guys are just blatantly shitting on. And
Dude,
again, I'm happy you brought out that the only area we gigged was replayability.
Dude, our score could easily be a 90,
Yeah.
95.
Yeah, I think you're a little ambitious.
Well, just do the math.
I think you're real ambitious.
Well, okay, we'll just do the math. If they did enough to bump the replayability up to a 20, both of our scores are
That's
an
an
85
yeah.
right there. God forbid they can get the gameplay up to a 25 or the replayability up to a 25. So I know I sound ambitious, but when you actually look at it and do it, it's not.
It's
a
doable.
very simple fix.
It's doable. Well, simple to say.
Yeah, simple from the guy who doesn't
So no,
develop
let's
games.
revisit, but let's get Gregory on the show here.
Yeah. So other than that, guys, I hope you enjoyed this week's episode, and we got more content coming next week. So subscribe, 5 stars, all that fun stuff.
See you on the water.
Ciao, ciao.